Hello out there and welcome to Peter's online tutor. Today we shall be looking at mathematics and the topic on the board is turning points. Okay, turning point or stationary points. Now that is differentiation part 7. Now there's a question for us on the board. It says find the maximum and minimum point for the function y equals x squared bracket open x minus 6 bracket close. Now, before we go on to solve this question, I want us to quickly look at these conditions. Now, if you are given a question like this and you are asked to find the what, the turning point or the maximum point or the minimum point, I want us to take note of the fact that dy dx, okay, if dy dx equals 0, that is what the turning point, okay? Now, if the second derivative is greater than 0, then you're talking about what? Your minimum point. But if the second derivative is less than 0, we are talking about what? The maximum point. Okay? Now, let us go on. From this question, y equals x squared bracket x minus 6. Okay? So the first step here is to what? Is to open the bracket. So after having y equals x squared times x will give us what? X cubed. X squared times 6 will give us what? 6x squared. Okay? Now, the second step here is for us to differentiate. Now, let us differentiate x cubed minus 6x squared. Okay, let's go. That is dy dx equals, the highest power of x here is what? Is 3. You bring it down. You write the question again, x cubed, and then you subtract what? You subtract 1. Minus 6. The highest power of x here is 2. Bring it down, you write the x squared again, and then you subtract what? 1. So our dy dx now equals 3x. 3 minus 1 is 2, minus 6 times 2 is 12. X, 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have what? Differentiated. Now, let us go back to this condition. We said at the turning point, dy dx equals what? 0. So from here, we are going to equate this particular what equation to what? To 0, because our dy dx here is what? Is 0 at the turning point. So I'll be having 3x squared minus 12x equals to what? 0. Okay? Now, what is common here and here? 3 is common, 3 and x are common here. So I bring out 3x. Okay? Now, x is left here. Okay? 4 is left here for 0. Okay, so that is 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 4 is 12x. All right. Now, we are going to equate this 3x equal to 0, and then we are going to equate x minus 4 towards 0. So it's going to be 3x equals 0. Okay, and also x minus 4 equals what? 0. All right. So divide both sides by 3. Okay, 3 cancels 3. X equals what? 0. Okay? Okay, or, we put or, then or minus 4 comes here, it becomes what? 4. So our x equals to 0 or 4. Now, we've gotten the values of our x, but we are looking for the minimum and the maximum what? Point for the what? For that particular what? Function. So what's that the next step to take? Now, remember that we have been able to get our dy dx. Okay? Now let us now get our second derivative. Okay, the second derivative of this particular word, value here. So from here now we are going to get the second what derivative of this. Okay, so it's going to be, let me use here. It's going to be this is equal to. Now we are going to differentiate for the second time. That is the meaning of the second word derivative. Okay, so let's differentiate this one again. That will be 3. Highest power of x is 2. You bring it down. And you write x squared again. And then you subtract what? Subtract 1. Minus 12. Highest power of x is 1. You bring it down. Okay, you write x raised to the power 1. And then you subtract 1. This. So I'm having this x squared equals 3 times 2 is 6x. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1, minus 12 times 1 is 12. Okay, that is x. 1 minus 1 is 0. End of the day, we're going to be having 2y over 2 equals 6x minus x is equal to 0 is 1. 1 times 12 is 12. So the second derivative of this particular function. All right. Now, we did say that if it is greater than 0, it is minimum. If it is less than 0, it is what? Maximum. How do we know that? Now, from what we got here, our x equals to 0 and our x equals to 4. Okay, so we are going to put the value of our x here for both 0 and 4. All right, so let's go. So we're going to be having 2y over 2 equals 6. Our x is 0. 0 minus 1. Okay, now 2y over dx squared equals 6 times 0, 0 minus 1, 12. Okay, so 0 minus 12 is what? Minus 12. So minus 12 is less than 0. Okay, minus 12 is less than 0. Now, what does that tell you? Since minus 12 is less than 0, it implies that 0 is the what? Is the maximum point. All right? Now, therefore, 0 is the maximum point. Maximum point. Okay? Now, let us fix the value of what? Of x as 4 here. Now, the same equation. So, d2y over dx2 equals 6. Okay? Our x here is 4 minus what? 12. Okay? So we're having d2y over dx2 equals 6 times 4 is 24 minus 12. Okay? 24 minus 12, and that gives us what? 12. So 12 is greater than 0. Now, since 12 is greater than 0, what does it tell you? It tells you that what? 4 here is the what? Is the minimum point. Okay? So, therefore, 4 is the minimum point. Minimum points. Okay, 4 is the minimum. Right, so that is how to find the maximum and minimum